GGRC.
Hey everybody, welcome to another quick save review with me, RC, here on GGRC. Today we're going to be looking at Whipseey and the Lost Atlas. Now, Whipseey is, I guess you could think of it as a Kirby Light style game. Kirby, you know, everybody knows him as the pink puffball that sucks people in and takes their powers. It's quite horrific if you really do the math on it. He kind of sucks them in, poops them out, takes their powers. It's quite scary, right? But regardless, Whipseey is sort of based on Kirby, and not so much in that he, you know, rips off his powers or anything like that. He kind of just looks a lot like him, controls like him, but the big difference is that he uses a whip. Whipseey uses a whip. Who would have thought, right? So I actually saw this game announced a few weeks ago coming out for the Switch, and I was pretty excited for this because I'm like, this just looks like a fun old school platformer that's a little bit reminiscent of Kirby, and this looks like it's going to be, you know, just a fun little game to play, and it is. And I sort of want to underline the word little. Because there isn't much to this game. I haven't actually finished it. I've got through 3 levels of it, but for what I've read, because I've already seen a couple reviews on the game, there's only 4 or 5 levels in it. Now, keep in mind that this is a budget title. It's only a $6 game on the Switch, but it looks like the most you're probably going to get out of this game, depending on how good you are at the game, is maybe like an hour and a half. One particular review I read said that they finished the game in 45 minutes. I think you would finish it in 45 minutes if you know, coasted through the game without dying at all and without having to restart. I've played the game for just over a half hour. I would say probably 30 minutes on the dot almost. And I've gotten through 3 of the levels. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I would say that, like, I play a lot of platformers. I'm decent at them. So, I mean, maybe that's why. So I don't see this game really taking me too much longer than the person reviewing that game, but the game itself is really good. So here, enough jibber-jabbering, let's actually jump into the game, shall we? Let's see, start game, and here you go. You can see I'm at 40%, so yeah, that would make sense that there's 5 levels then, because I've through 3 of them. So let's play. Alright, so here is Whipseey on the screen here. And you could see the Kirby influence, I suppose, right? Let's actually check out... Trying to think of what level's really good representation of the game. Let's try the 2nd level here. Alright, so here you go. Here is Whipseey. Whipseey can jump. Whipseey can also do this cool jump floaty thing, which is very, very Kirby, you know, with the whole umbrella thing. However, like I said, you cannot suck any enemies in. This is what you do. You whip. You whip them good. So let's head in, shall we? Alright, so on top of being able to whip enemies, you can also jump on their heads and then whip them. The jumping on the head thing comes in handy more often than you might think. Because you might think, oh, you know, whatever, you know, jumping on the enemy's head, very Mario, whatever. But there are some certain jumps in this game that are kind of difficult to deal with, that have you falling into waterfalls and that kind of thing, which could be, you know, I wouldn't say frustrating, but just a little irritating, because it's like, oh man, they set up these jumps specifically just to be irritating. That is, I think, where the challenge of the game is going to be. The challenge of the game is going to be getting used to the controls a little bit. The controls are actually very easy to get used to. I mean, you're just jumping and whipping, but these things right here, if you're not sure how to use them, or if you're not using them correctly, they could be kind of a pain. That is to say, you kind of got to nail whenever you're hitting them, because you're going to get some of these that are over holes. So you got to know when the right time to throw the whip is. It took me a few tries to kind of nail that. Here you go. Here's one of the electric enemies here. You know, I've never tried just continually jumping on an enemy. I guess they just stay alive no matter what. You also see that you're collecting gems from the enemies as you kill them. Basically, those gems, once you reach 100, you get another life for Whipseey. Whipseey, every level gets 5 lives. If you lose those 5 lives, you start at the very beginning again. If you die, you just start from the beginning of the current room that you're in. So like if we die in this room, we'll just start where that doorway is right there. Also, doorways again, very curvy, right? You gotta watch out for those electrical guys, by the way. Those electrical guys, if you whip them while they're going all electric, your whip will also electrocute you, so gotta be careful. I did not know that. But one of the things I want to point out for this game is for a pixel art game, I think this game looks very, very beautiful. You guys already know from watching my show that I am always a fan of pixel art as long as it's done well, and this has been done well. So the problem with Whipseey, though, is that even as a $6 game, it feels like one of those games where a lot more work was definitely put into, say, the artwork and mechanics and stuff like that, you know, emulating Kirby and that kind of thing. Oh, you knocked me in the water! But that's okay, just because you get knocked in the water, all is well. It's those holes you want to watch out for. You don't want to get knocked in the holes. I'm making this level look easy, I apologize, guys, but it's because I played through this one once. Actually, I was playing this one very tired the other night, staying up late with the baby and everything like that. And I was having a real hard time getting through this area here. So this was the part that I was having a real hard time with. This, in hindsight, looks so easy to deal with. Because you just gotta jump over and not get electrocuted. And yeah, we ended up getting a free guy for that, so that's great. Alright, so this was the part I kept dying at, actually, believe it or not. The other weird thing, too... Oh, see, that's what happened to me right there. See, one of the weird things with this game, and not just the whip thing, but also, like, when you think you're jumping on their heads, you're not. See, right there. The enemies don't really give you a warning as to when they're going to do the electrify thing. See, right there, I thought I timed it. This is like deja vu, guys. The same thing is happening to me again. What happened to me the other night. There we go. Okay. So just wait, be a little more patient. There we go. Oh, get the frog. There we go. And then this area. So this is what I was talking about with the holes and the whips. You got to make sure you nail this, because I died on that hole. Once I finally got past the one area, I died in that hole several times. Oh my god! And then these stupid things. You don't have a whole lot of vertical when it comes to Whipseey here. Here's another one of these holes. You got to make sure you nail these. I'm doing pretty good with them there. These enemies I thought were great. This is another reason why I said I think that the person... I believe this was created by one person. And the reason why I say I think that they spent a lot more time on the art and everything, just because you look at the enemies like that who had this like amazing little animation when they roll, and I'm very impressed by it. I don't see why, you know, we couldn't have had like at least like 3 or 4 worlds of this game though. It just seems like it would have been... Like, to me, when companies come out with these really short games, you know, especially this one, this is, like, crazy short, you know, 4 or 5 levels, the developer having spent so much time on the game itself, like, developing it, doing all the art assets and everything, it just makes me sad that it's so short, because why not, you know, blow it out and do all kinds of levels and worlds for it? But you've already done most of the work on it, you know? Do some palette swat stuff. Why not? Alright, so this is the boss. Every level has a boss. The bosses are usually pretty fun. None of them have been, like, super, super difficult. Then again, I've only played against 3 of them so far. Woo! But as you can see, the boss battles do change up as you get them to about halfway. So at this point, this is one of those bosses you gotta be very patient with. You gotta take out the enemies, and then you gotta sneak in the whip hits when you can against this guy. It can take a second to kind of adjust. So you can get like 2 or 3 right there. And then he's gonna roll, hit his own guy. You usually only gotta worry about this first dude here. It's too bad he doesn't take out his own dudes with fireballs. That would be pretty helpful. There's 2. So this is, here you go, pro tip. This is how you take out this boss. Just be patient. Don't feel like you gotta do too many whips every time. Whipseey's got 5 hits that he can take. So just be patient. Don't take too many hits. You'll be alright. There we go. We took him out. There you go. Not too shabby, right? We got him. No big whoop. And that is the second level. This is going to be a real short video, guys, because I'm hesitant to show any more of the game because, I mean, I just showed you basically 20% of the game. So, it looks like there's going to be 5 levels altogether. I really hope that they get to a point with this game where they're going to add more levels to it. Like I said, I know it's only a $6 game, but even for $6, I'm kind of like, man, $6 for an hour. I guess that's okay. I mean, if you do it in like movie terms, like how much do you pay to see an hour-and-a-half movie? Sometimes people are paying like $14 to go see like the new Avengers movie. Sometimes even more if you're doing IMAX. So I don't know. Maybe this isn't such a bad deal after all. But I just wish there was a little bit more here with this game. That's it. Other than that, I love it. I love the feel of it. I love the look of it. You know, it's just a real fun little game. I have no problem with it other than the length. So, but there you go, guys. Thank you for watching, and of course, I'll see you all in the next quick save review. See you then.